Morning students. Today we are going to discussing about matte restriction method. I am Dr. Bala Murli, Associate Professor from Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. Matte restriction effect. This effect is invented by James Prescott Joule. He is born in the year of 1818 to 1889. He was used the iron sample and measure its change in length. The principle of matte restriction effect: when a strong ferromagnetic substance like iron, nickel, cobalt that has to be magnetized in longitudinally, it undergoes a very small change in length. This is to be called as a matte restriction effect. So the change in length produced in the rod, it depends upon the three parameters. The first one, strength of the applied magnetic field. Next one, the nature of the materials. The third one, independent of the direction of magnetic field applied. So these are the three parameters very important for changing the length. That means when the alternating magnetic field is applied through the ferromagnetic substance at resonance condition, the ends of the ferromagnetic substance, it starts to produce the ultrasonics. That means at resonance condition. So the applied magnetic field, the frequency is equal to the ferromagnetic substance. Then only starts to produce the ends of the ferromagnetic substance. The next one, matte restriction oscillator. Before that, we should know the construction. So this is like a NPN transistor. Next one, we are using for the two coils, inductor coil L1 and L2. And inductor coil L1 is connecting to the variable capacitor and then milliammeter and as well as high tension battery. So the inductor coil and variable capacitor is we are calling as tank circuit, and then the inductor L2 is connecting to the base of the transistor. The emitter terminal is connecting to the negative terminal of the battery. That means the emitter is in forward bias, the collector is in the reverse bias. So we are using the inductor coil, a ferromagnetic substance. When we are going to switch on the high tension battery, the current passing through the circuit to the inductor coil L1. Due to the EMF, it starts to produce the current. Due to the mutual action, the current is induced in the inductor coil L2. So the inductor coil L2 gives the current base of the transistor. At forward bias, it emits the current in the collector terminal. So this, how much amount of the current is produced, we can measure by using the milliammeter. So the emitted current is giving to the input of the tank circuit by adjusting the variable capacitor. That means the resonance frequency of the resonance circuit, it has to be equal to the frequency of the vibrating rod. If these two frequencies are equal, the ends of the ferromagnetic substance starts to produce the ultrasonic wave. So the condition of resonance, that is equal to the frequency of the oscillating circuit equal to the frequency of the vibrating rod. So 1 by 2 pi root LC equal to 1 by 2L root of E by rho. L inductor, C capacitor, L length of the vibrating substance, E Young's modulus of the ferromagnetic substance, rho density of the ferromagnetic material. So these are the conditions and limitations. It can produce the frequency up to 3 MHz only. The frequency of the oscillations depends upon the temperature. The breadth of the resonance curve is large. It is due to the vibration of elastic constant of the ferromagnetic material with degree of magnetization. So we cannot get a single frequency. The energy loss due to hysteresis and eddy current. The advantages: matter friction oscillator are mechanically rugged. They are capable of producing large acoustical power with fairly good efficiency. The production loss cost is low. Large output power without the damage of the oscillatory circuit. Thank you.